I want us to home in to some patterns that are taking place here in America concerning our young men and the workforce. It's an appropriate discussion to have possibly with your family, especially being that we are in a South Node transit, Virgo, which does pertain to the workforce. And I want to make us aware that we have a lot of leverage, power, influence, possibilities if we can understand how things work. When it comes to young men, you go to any particular community and you see the way that they dress, the way that they express themselves, walk and talk, the choices that they take in career paths and directions, so on and so forth. You would think that it's because of the way that the rays that they take on these 10th house images, characterizations of themselves, or first house representations of themselves. But the truth is that it is the female that manufactures and informs how they desire to present themselves in society. The feedback of females, it rules their awareness of the feedback that they can anticipate from the 7th house, which is a Venus-ruled algorithm and consciousness of relationships and contracts. Relationships and contracts both goes under the domain of females because the approach to women is exactly the same as the approach to any contract in the world, in life, in any kind of business, any affair, any place where there's a handshake, a greeting, and a sit down in a spirit of diplomacy where force cannot be used, but invitation and influence and charisma, selling the value, selling the pitch, so on and so forth. And so all of this goes under Venus. Venus represents the archetypal female. It represents especially the adolescence of female, the female that is, quote unquote, desirable. Understand, the desirable feminine energy and nature. So this is a 7th house theme. Young men, they subconsciously and eventually, consciously or intentionally, become aware of who they are when it comes to contracts and what they have to learn in order to strategize so to avoid being rejected or leaning in more to attributes and qualifications, characteristics that expands their probability of being accepted instead of rejected. So this all goes hand in hand with their sexual market strategy. Okay, so when young men, when you see them at early age, they're engaging the girls, they like the girls, they're chasing the girls, they're figuring out, how do I get that girl's attention? How do I get her to like me? How do I get her to notice me? How do I get her to respond to me? Yes, this is a sexual hunting strategy that we as males, well, I'm speaking about young males, that they take upon early in life. And this is not just a compartmentalized exercise. It is an exercise that transcends his entire being, because the skills that he is learning in how to get a girl's attention without force, how to get the girl to positively engage without lies, tricks, or deceit, how to win the handshake or to confirm the appointment, to confirm the agreement that we are going to go and have ice cream, get a cup of coffee, go to a movie, whatever, okay, the deal is, or contract is. His results, his feedback, his success or his failure in pursuing girls, in pursuing the opposite sex, it has a direct correlation to his approach and strategy to global, national, or community engagements in seeking contracts for himself in the world. He uses the exact same spirit, energy, algorithm to approach the world. So the same way that he gets girls is the same way that he gets contracts in the world. When I'm saying contracts is when he's looking for a job, choosing a particular career, trying to seal the deal for, a contract in business, or maybe he's trying to sell himself to an agency or institution. He wants to be a part of an organization, an order, a fraternity, a certain career path, or he's trying to link up with others while he's in one career in order to move up. He uses that same energy to solidify or initiate contractual opportunities and agreements, while he's on the clock. Hey, listen, I'm trying to do this and that. What did you do to be able to, be that, in that position? I'm an apprentice. How did you get to be a journeyman? Oh, okay. Yeah, here's what you do. You do this, yada, yada, yada. Okay. He's networking. So this is between the seventh house and 11th house, where his consciousness expands in that, but based on the awareness of his 10th house and first house. The 11th house, ruled by Uranus. In African spiritual tradition, we recognize these energies as called Shango and Oshun, okay? Oshun first married Ogun, which is Mars, okay? The god of war, the god of iron. However, she left Mars or Ogun for Shango, which is Uranus, okay? She left Ogun for Uranus because what this represents is the feminine principle that advanced from the basis of instinctual technological expression of humanity or mankind, and she left him for the advanced expression of the divine masculine, which is innovative genius, okay? Innovative genius. And so the 11th house is where it all ends up at, okay? He's trying to get to the 11th house where he can make large gains, where he can poly, with other people, where he can expand, network, and move the value that he has refined in order to see a return or opportunity, an increase in power, politics, and leverage, okay? But it all starts with the 7th house. So how our females are behaving, how they are thinking, the things that they are speaking out into the atmosphere, it has a direct effect on males' strategies and approaches to the sexual marketplace, which then correlates to their approach and strategy to getting any contract in life or initiating any 7th house contract in life, which can include jobs. How do I get in this college? Or how do I get somebody to help me with an idea that I have? All of these things go with the 7th house. Okay, any place that you're initiating a yes or a no from someone, an agreement or a collaboration, where you are initiating those things, it takes place through the 7th house. And all of that is the territory of Venus. Therefore, we have to look at the female for how males are approaching and strategizing their engagement with the world and life, because that is their seeking of a contract, to confirm contracts in order to get into the 8th house, rise into the 8th house, where transformational forces take place in the consciousness and the participation, interactions, and engagements, where now commitment becomes the thing. And where commitment becomes the thing, trust is when trust is there, when commitment is there, when a deeper connection of transparency is there, now he can find access to greater power. Now he can find access to empowerment. Now he can transmute who he was in a particular state and expand himself into the ideal that he wishes to become through the assistance, the support, the engagement, connection, and opportunities that he can fuse himself into with others in this type of alchemical processes of the 8th house Scorpio, okay? That is now him acting and actualizing through Pluto, okay? Understand that. On the other side of that is Sagittarius, where he now becomes expansive, and he feels and experiences inside of himself the opportunity to express freedom, where he now is empowered to express freedom, that is to act on and to pursue that which is aligned with his actual desires through the ninth house. That is, competence is what takes him there. Higher knowledge is what takes him there. Mentorship is what takes him there. Gurus who can teach and show and demonstrate. College education, or he goes to a trade school to get certain certifications, qualifications, education, so on and so forth. Okay. And then the 10th house, he finally characterizes the capacity to handle that responsibility and duty that allows him to live out that MC, which, if he has salvation, if he has emotional stability and clarity, he gets to experience who he is in that MC, the midheaven. Understand? And this is the part where he transfers all of that to the 11th house, where he now polys with others and networks and sees power, gain, opportunity, and success in the world. Okay? So, but all of this, the gateway is the woman. The womb is the woman. The female has the womb. So the entrance into anything that is going to give him a birth of new life outside of himself, it is through the woman, the female principle. So if our females are out here giving the feedback that a 9-to-5 man is dusty, a guy who has a blue-collar career, he's dusty. This is the feedback that American females are out here giving. And it's the African American female in particular who is the loudest one in the room, who's saying it, expressing it, screaming to the to the top of her lungs with spit flying out, veins popping out of her neck, okay? And not knowing that she is only doing damage to her community, not knowing that she is only misleading, misguiding the future. She is contributing to what will happen tomorrow, how tomorrow will look, not knowing you are tearing down your own house. You are using your mouth to tear down your own house. When you open your mouth, you are tearing down your own house. Because when you speak this way, when you behave this way, when this is your feedback as a female, it only shows and proves that you are not aware of the power and influence that you have as a woman. Because if you knew the power and influence that you have as a woman, you would not allow your powers to mislead, misguide, or to do harm and destruction upon the community with that power that you are entrusted with in this lifetime. Competence must go with power, or it will utterly destroy everything around it. It will cause a major problem. And this is the problem with when there is a lack of education on who women are, what they are, and how to properly manage and how to properly fulfill the trust of standing in such tremendous power. Females need awareness of themselves and the influence that they have. But when there is a culture of self-victimization, I'm guilty of nothing, I'm responsible for nothing, I can do no wrong, I can do no harm, it's always the guy's fault. There can never be the opportunity of her realizing I have to pull back the reins and I have to take full control and accountability of the powers and forces that I have with me, because it is not without consequence what I do and what I say. A female is a political power. She is a political superpower, a political nuclear power. It is a power that does not exhaust, that does not deplete, that does not weaken, that does not go down, because she carries it in her being, in her essence. That power will never die. And this is part of the reason why subconsciously males are seeking females, because to connect to such is to also connect yourself to greater opportunity with how you can engage and make positive outcomes with the world through the assistance and support and influence of a female. Understand that. So the strategies of young men in America, it's in a crisis. They don't know what to do or where to go or who to become. The lack of education in our females, ironically, it has nothing to do with college. It has to do with the fact woman is not teaching daughter. It has to do with the fact that women have not taken interest to discover, to learn, to unpack, to decode the mystery of what it means to be a woman. There has been this heavy emphasis about the jealousy and envy about who men are, what men are doing, what they get to do, what they're entitled to, what they have the right to, and what they don't have the right to do. Some females, through feminism, are so absorbed in worrying about what men do to where they live a whole lifetime forgetting what a woman is supposed to do. What the fuck are you supposed to do as a woman? Who the fuck are you supposed to be as a woman? And why the fuck ain't you learned it yet? And here you are, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, and there's nothing to pass down to the younger ones to educate them about themselves as female. But you got plenty of degrees, you got college education, you got the doctors and PhDs and all these other things, but don't know the first goddamn thing about being a woman. Can't teach a motherfucking thing to the next generation. That is a problem. It's a catastrophe. It is a crisis. No one is teaching these girls what it means to be a woman. And you can't teach these dry concepts. You're sitting there with an ugly ass chalkboard, a boring ass delivery. You have no passion, no spirit in you, or no spunk or nothing when it comes to talking about what it means to be a woman. But yet they're supposed to take interest in it. The spirit is lacking because the interest is really lacking. This disease has taken control of too many females in these past generations. Over the decades, these little girls are growing up in full form of prostitutes, sex workers. They dress like prostitutes. They talk like prostitutes. They have demands and expectations of a prostitute. They contract in the seventh house with the community as a prostitute would, but you're not allowed to call them prostitutes. You're not allowed to mention it. You're not allowed to acknowledge it. You're not allowed to say it out loud. They are full-blown prostitutes here in America. Nobody is teaching these girls. Nobody's educating them. Nobody's making sure that they understand their power. Instead, it's a bunch of poetry. You females out there have got to stop with the fucking poetry. All these sweet, fancy sayings, this eloquent, divine, feminine, and this and that. But do you know what the fuck that shit means? No, you don't. Can you explain it without a fucking poem and a violin in the background? No, the fuck you can't. And that's where the problem's at. You can't be real for once. You can't come down to the earth where your foot hit the fucking ground and explain the motherfucker where they can understand it. This generation is not going to be impressed by that. This generation takes their whiskey with no ice and no chaser when it comes to dialogue, when it comes to communication. If you can't get real and authentic, you're going to lose them. A lot of you females out there is fake and phony as a fucking cardboard, and you need to get real. You got a list of complaints and oh, he's misogynistic. Oh, he hates women. Oh, you must not have. Well, what about your mother? You're worried about the wrong things. You're focused on the wrong things. College fooled y'all. It tricked y'all. You thought you was going for power, and you only got a wet ass out of it. And this year shows and proves and produces the actual evidence of that claim. Because the unemployment rates prove it. And who's been most affected by the layoffs proves it. Your college education is fucking useless now. It is useless. AI is coming for that. The high heels fell off the top of the skyscrapers when Donald Trump got into office. So who are you now? Without these prestigious careers, without your high heels clinking and clacking on the way up the elevator to the fucking skyscraper, who are you now? without a leg to stand on to compete with men in white America. Who are you now? Because these Christian nationalists, white supremacists who are in the office today, they're patriarchal. They are patriarchal. You think you dealt with patriarchy. No, you're going to deal with patriarchy now. They are going to suppress women. What you got to fall back on now? Why is it so hard for American women to see that what your sister does, it does have an effect on you, so you should feel responsible to speak up and speak out where you know it is appropriate? To stop falsehoods, to stop lies, to stop propaganda, to stop miseducation in its tracks, because it does do damage. The celebration of this degeneracy in females, this corruption of their being, their psyche, the womb, and it is celebrated. South Node Libra was the finality of that. Thank God. And as terrible as things are with the administration that we have now, it would have been even worse if you would have continued with the Democratic left liberals to further the agenda of rainbow, trans, and feminine power, that they only use that power to destroy themselves and refuse to ever admit it, because they weren't ready to handle that freedom and power yet. Women should be free. Women should be liberated. They should have every right that anybody else has in this world. But what happens when you show and prove to everyone that you're not ready for the freedom, that you have to learn accountability and moral commitment first and then proceed with the expression of freedom, so that you do not have the ironic outcome of self-entrapment and self-undoing? Did we not learn that because of the Pisces transit and Saturn? Reinforcing the lesson. Somebody's got to teach these females. It shouldn't be men like me. Because when somebody like me has to do it, it gets ugly. The delivery ain't right. It gets offensive. People get mad. They start crying. Oh, you don't understand. Oh, you're misogynistic. Oh, women, and they're just oppressing us and oppressing us. You cried for I don't know how long. It's just like Jewish people. You cry and you cry and you cry about that damn Holocaust. But there's people on earth who went through far worse. Ask King Leopold in the Congo. Everybody wants to be a fucking victim. But who's going to lead these little girls to victory? It can't be the men. You ladies have to open your mouth. Somebody has to start learning and collecting the notes on what it means in a spiritual level to be a woman without fucking poetry. Stop the fucking poetry. For God's sake, stop reciting poetry. Leave that shit alone. Stop adding so much fucking sugar and honey and glitter and all that. Stop with that obsessive shit. Have an intelligent, direct, and clarified delivery and communication to your female counterparts and sisters, and have a damn spine. Our future depends on it. What are our families if our young men are discouraged and feeling that the blue collar, craft, skilled labor careers are not for them, because they're listening to the feedback of the female counterparts who are telling them that if they do that, they won't be chosen, they won't be acknowledged, they won't be admired, they won't be celebrated. They won't be loved. They won't be received. They won't be desirable. They can't get the girl at the end of it. If boy can't get girl, he won't do it. If boy knows he can get girl at the end of it, he will move heaven and hell to get it done. The fucking Taj Mahal was built for a man's desire of a woman. I don't think we understand how life works. I don't think we understand our young men. We spent so many decades crying and crying about the tears of females, and totally neglected, overlooked, stepped over, left behind our boys, our sons, our men, our fathers, our brothers. Everything, the life gotta stop because women are still fucking crying. Which doesn't mean that we should turn an insensitive shoulder to them. But goddamn, everybody got fucking tears. Not just you. This whole world can't stop to cry for fucking women. We gotta cry together. We've got to include the young men. Stop leaving the young men behind, ignoring the fuck out they ass, and then wondering why they turn out so fucked up and dysfunctional. It's a reason they don't know how to build houses no more. Weld. Fix cars. Be technical. By the losing their strength, their toughness, their edge, the testosterone, the killer instinct. It's a reason. It's a reason why third world countries, it's a reason why Latinos from all kinds of different directions are coming into the Americas, legal and illegal status, and taking that motherfucker over. Because their women celebrate their men who labor, who work hard, who pick up a hammer and a drill. They celebrate them. And that's why the old and the young Hispanics is out here on these construction sites. As they should. I celebrate it. I gotta respect it. Ain't nothing wrong with that. They doing what the fuck they supposed to do. Young and old. And females is out there too with them. I see it. And they're still feminine. Not creating excuses. Oh, if a man treat me the right way, then I could be feminine. Ask fucking Maddie Saul and goddamn Lisa with the long black hair on a construction site. Why the fuck she's still feminine? And she out here in the winter and the summer, sweating and freezing, with hammers and drills on ladders and shit, and she's still feminine. What's your excuse? You're lying, bitch. That's what it is. You're fucking lying. You got one eye open, like a seven of swords, hoping nobody can expose your ass. This is a problem. The American families are losing their strength, their foundation, the craftsmen, the skilled men in the family. And what are you going to do? Buy every service? Car breaks down, a couple $100 or $1,000, or a couple thousand. A leak in the roof, couple $100 or a couple thousand. You want to expand the wall in your house, knock this wall down, or expand this floor plan or whatever else. You got to hire somebody now, and they're going to rape your ass with no Vaseline. That's just a few. But the confidence that it gives to the men in your family, the security that it gives to your family, the power of networking that it allows your family to have, the 8th house opportunity that it gives, which includes the power of Pluto to bless your family lineage. Power. When did American females become so goddamn shallow? All this college education, it ain't a drop of goddamn foresight. The intelligence is wanting. College don't make you smart. That's for damn sure. College damn sure don't make you smart. No, it don't. God have mercy. No, the fuck it don't. You come to America and you can see that shit. We got to get it together because we have a serious problem. And it can start with every one of us pushing back against these narratives, pushing back against these expressions to bring balance into the situation. You have a generation of young men that don't labor in the winter outside, that don't labor in the summer in a hot ass sun. What are you doing to the blood? He sit in the cubicle all day. He sit in the office all day with some tight ass pants on. Tight ass pants and a muscle shirt. He got his muscles from the gym, not from hard work. He got his muscles from fucking Planet Fitness. He got his muscles from fucking protein shakes and shit. Taking all kind of supplements. But the nigga's still bitch made. Yeah, riddle me that. The nigga's still bitch made. He swole, he big. But he's still bitch made. Cause he ain't never did nothing hard in his life. He ain't never labored. Picking up bricks and shit. Steel poles and iron beams. Climbing and sweating and digging and doing hard ass shit all day. Dangerous shit that's testing your ability to hold your nuts. Yeah, you think I'm exaggerating? Nigga, I'm talking from experience. Yeah, that's what I do. Fuck, you think I'm making some shit up and coming up here to talk to y'all niggas? No, this from the heart. This is from the fucking heart, unrehearsed. Yeah. The shit we do out there as craftsmen, as construction workers, we risk our lives every day. We risk our life. We do very dangerous things. Shit that make you squeeze your ass, your asshole real tight because you scared as shit, but you still got to do it. Yeah. Labor that really tests your physical capacity. What does that do to the blood? It makes my blood superior, nigga. Yeah, it makes my blood superior. Whoever got the most men laboring, that's the one who's gonna live the longest. Y'all niggas don't understand that shit. Y'all don't fucking get it. Whoever's laboring in a hot ass sun, whoever's out in the freezing cold, enduring the hardships of the weather, their blood is superior. Their blood cannot die. It is eternal blood, strong blood, full of testosterone, full of spunk, full of strength and grit. Super fucking sperm, nigga. Fuck you talking about? But you want to listen to females. That's the worst thing that American people can do, is listen to females on social media giving a goddamn opinion and advice about shit like this, about things like this. And the whole country becomes fucked up because some pretty girls love to be on social media running their fucking yap. Talking and talking and talking and don't know they setting their own house on fire. Stop listening to these bitches. Especially the pretty ones. Stop listening to them. Because we're getting fucked up by their advice, by their opinions. The bloodline of your family, it matters. And you don't just have to let it go the way it's going. Take control, manage it. Put intention behind it. Your blood is going to be so weak because you ain't got no men laboring. When women decide who they want to be with, they looking at the outfit. They looking at the clout. How many followers do you got? Let me get your Instagram. Oh, he ain't popping. Dumbass bitches. Can't understand to save their fucking life how to strategize the proper way to choose a man. Can't choose for shit. And this is why a father should always be behind the daughter who chooses. This is why arranged marriages really could be the better thing. She don't know how to pick. American women don't know how to pick no goddamn man. No, they don't. They look at everything that they shouldn't be looking at and ignore everything that they should consider. They ass backwards. You want somebody who ain't never labored in a goddamn life. A whole lot of money, oh, it's all you can see. But what about this motherfucker's blood? And now you're producing children who got a fucked up immune system, no strength. His anatomy is frail. His bones lack density. Erectile dysfunction by the time he's 19. The motherfucker's timid, can't look people in the fucking eye, can't think his way out of a box, breaks under pressure, all kind of sicknesses and disease and ailments. It's, we're not being wise. We're not being wise. And we should all feel responsible for what happens in our world to do what we can, do what is in our capacity. And even if that starts with not approving, co-signing, or consenting to the behaviors and actions that does harm to the collective, even if you don't speak up and speak out, a gesture, to refrain from a gesture. Everything helps. It all helps. And what really helps is when you huddle with your family, when you have these discussions. Hey, everybody come in. Let's have a huddle. Let's talk. Let's have a huddle. Let's talk. Are you in the habit of doing that with your folks, with your peoples? Everybody come in. Let's huddle. Let's talk. I'm just here to make you think. I know, I realize I piss people off. I get on people's nerves. I'm not desirable. I get it. But I'm honest. I'm sincere. I say what I mean. It's nothing to hide. My hands are clear and clean. If I cause you to think, I don't mind to pay the price of you disliking me.